and welcome to Planetary Peace, Power, and Prosperity, a semantic solution to all the human-created suffering on this planet. This flows so beautifully from the previous program and what Alro and Nancy Chomas were saying. I would like to introduce a very good friend of mine and supporter, Duncan McClintock. Duncan is an ex-data scientist and current soul-inspired walker. Hi, Duncan.
Thank you very much, Janet. And I would love to introduce Carolyn. Greatest Carolyn McGee is the architect of Sacred Haven for Empowered and Intuitive Living.
Thank you, Duncan. And I would like to introduce Ken. Ken Rashan was a science teacher that has become a publisher for transformational leaders.
And I would like to introduce Donna O'Toole, a retired RN, massage therapist, and educator, and is now an energy healer.
Thank you, Ken. I would like to lead us into a meditation. So everyone get comfortable, close your eyes softly. You can place your hand or your hands over your heart and connect to this sacred space. Take 3 deep breaths and fill your heart space with love. Breathe in love. As you continue to breathe in this love, this beautiful, radiant love engulfs your heart as you send your roots down, down, down to the crystalline core of our divine Mother Earth. As you become rooted in Mother Earth, this radiant love and beauty encompasses your heart. Now growing, glowing, weaving and flowing through the sacred space of your heart, you become a living, breathing tree of love. You are this tree of love. See yourself as the first tree that comes to mind. This is your gift that is given to you at this specific time and place. Now your branches rise to the heart fire of Father Sun, Grandfather Sky. Radiant divine light fills your heart, this sacred space, and enjoins with the divine love from Mother Earth. You are the bridge between heaven and earth. Your roots are connection portals that nourishes and sustains life, grounds your body and strengthens your abilities and gifts. Your branches reach to drink the light, providing a space of love for each bud to blossom, each flower to fruit. Know that you are protected by a white light that surrounds you and your auras completely, only allowing divine love and light and energy to enter or leave. Now see your branches reaching out, connecting each of us to form this sacred circle. Golden and violet threads weaving the infinity symbol from each of our hearts, connecting all of our hearts. Our sacred circle, which has no beginning and no end. We are opening ourselves to the power of now and aligning our body, mind, and spirit with the divine, creating portals to the wild realms of all possibilities. In this sacred space of creation, within our sacred circle, we are calibrating our consciousness to the vibration of love. We are given insight, guidance, clarity, and direction. We invite and welcome the ascended masters, the angels, and our spirit guides to join us in our sacred circle. Now imagine yourself in a peaceful, sacred space that comes to your mind. Listen as you ask the divine source What am I being called to do? Listen as you ask the divine source, how can I be of service? Listen as you ask the divine source, how can I be a catalyst for planetary peace, power, and prosperity? Continue to sit and listen joyfully. We are blissfully expanding in abundance, success, creativity, and love every day as we are inspiring others to do the same. We are catalysts for planetary peace, power, and prosperity. We are supporting each other as we are expanding the collective consciousness to a vibration of planetary peace, power, and prosperity. You will remember your tree and messages from the divine. More messages may be revealed to you later. Now, when you're ready, you can open your eyes and slowly bring your consciousness back to this time and place. You're fully aware of your senses, and this feeling of well-being will carry throughout with you for the rest of the day. And so it is. Namaste. It is my honor to introduce you to Dr. Janet Smith Warfield. Dr. Janet serves wisdom seekers who want understanding and clarity so that they can live peaceful, powerful, and prosperous lives. Through her unique combination of holistic, creative, right brain transformational experiences and 22 years of rigorous left brain law practice, she has learned how to sculpt words in atypical ways, shifting her listeners into experiences beyond words, transforming turmoil into inner peace. I have known Dr. Janet for 3 decades now, and I want to say not only does she talk her talk, she walks her talk. She is my friend and my mentor, and I am so deeply honored and privileged for you to get to know Dr. Janet more.
Donna, thank you so very much. I feel the same way about you. Planetary peace, power, and prosperity. Duncan, take that back just for a minute, would you please? Look at the logo that we have co-created here. We've put a lot of hours into this. The circle is bigger than ideally it would be because that center point is a timeless, spaceless moment of pure awareness. But look at all those beautifully colored lines flowing out from that center point. That is each one of us is. Each one of us has a unique gift to bring to the planet. Look at how different the people here on this panel today are. They have different skills, and yet there is that bond. And it's an energetic bond that connects us all as we are manifesting and giving our gifts back to the world in service. Okay, Duncan, thank you. Next slide. I'd like to focus today, we have an hour, which isn't nearly enough to go into depth on everything that we could, but I'd like to focus a little bit on the vision of planetary peace, power, and prosperity. And the background of this is on our website, Planetary Peace, Power, and Prosperity.org, and that's AND, not an ampersand, because this vision is so very meaningful in terms of giving focus to our lives and to our directions and our work together as a group. So our vision, and just an aside, Duncan is largely responsible for the creation, the creation of this website. So thank you, Duncan. Could we have the next slide, please? So what do we need to move away from, and what do we want to move toward? We want to move away from, Nancy was saying this on the previous program, not feeling good enough and stepping fully into our own unique personal power, while, and this is very important, not harming others or the planet that sustains us. Away from abusing others or allowing oneself to be abused. Toward self-compassion and other compassion. Away from fear and terror and toward inner strength and courage, conscious and intentional self-love and other love. Away from rage toward standing firmly in right action. Away from shame or guilt and toward making amends by changing our own conduct. Away from a transactional money economy of lack and toward an abundant economy of giving and receiving. Away from planetary war and desecration and toward deep inner community and planetary peace. So, and the end of our vision statement is to fully use each of our unique gifts, skills, talents, and passions to connect, shift, transform, evolve, expand, manifest, and maintain creatively and co-creatively a peaceful, powerful, prosperous planet together and forever. So now I would like to introduce Duncan again. We're going to move into answering those questions, those really important questions that Donna raised in her opening meditation. Specifically, what am I being called to do? How can I be of service? How can I be a catalyst for planetary peace, power, and prosperity? So let me give you a little longer introduction of Duncan, who will begin here. After a 30-year career as a data scientist, Duncan left the culturally safe world of corporate internet technology in March of 2020. And he started on a walk across America. Due to the pandemic, he accomplished this virtually. He has a Facebook page, A Walk for the Soul of America, very interesting. On the top, he found a deep connection with the soul. On this trip, he found a deep connection with his soul and our nurturing mother. After completing his journey from Calais, Maine to San Diego, California, in November, he built our website, our beautiful, beautiful website for P4, and that Those words P4 have a deeper meaning, which we may get into later. And he's currently completing the first of a series of books about reincarnation and soul journeys. So, Duncan, how would you like to answer those questions?
Well, what am I being called to do? Um, Very interesting question, and it has been evolving every moment. And it's something I actually tend to focus on as I walk in the woods. As Janet intimated, I love walking. I do. I walk probably anywhere from 10 to 20 miles a day. And the majority of it, I would say, is in the woods. And because of that, I have this. Nature has a way of soaking into you as you walk in the woods and you spend time in the woods. And I hear a lot of answers to those questions. What am I here to do? Um, who am I here to help? What value can I bring to the world? These are really big questions that should be answered by all of us. It will help us to come together and communicate together. It leads to a question about how I can be of service. And majority of the service I've done in my life has been in the service to others and helping businesses grow, to help children grow into wonderful adults, to help clean up rivers, help clean up other areas. But now it's more of how can I be of service to the world, to the planet, to bring about peace, power, and prosperity. To me, it's a it's a blessing to be able to be of service to anyone, and in whatever way I can be. One of the services I did was to build this website to clean up this river that's behind me. To be of service in whatever way I can be in the moment I'm in, which is the most important thing, to be in the moment. And how can I be a catalyst for this? That's a question I'm working on right now. It's a question resonates within me very deeply because most of the work I've done catalyzes someone else's or a corporation's growth and prosperity. Now I think it's humanity's growth and prosperity that I am being called to be a catalyst for. And because of that, I've been writing books. And none of these books have been published yet, but they are in their process of doing so. I guess I'm going to stop there. There's more to be said, but there are others here that I would love to be able to present to you as well. What I want to do right now is I want to reintroduce or introduce in a more complete way Carolyn McGee. Carolyn is a creatrix. She's the architect of the Sacred Haven for Empowered and Intuitive Living Community, which includes North Carolina retreats, virtual gatherings, powerful workshops, private coaching and soul nurturing, and VIP weekends. Sounds like a good thing for me. She serves women ready to connect with their inner wisdom and trusted to make empowered decisions, then take inspired action, and discover the power of nature's cycles to create a life that lights them up. Sounds wonderful. She has co-authored numerous best-selling books and is a popular radio and TV host, sought-after speaker, and blogger. can find her at www.carolynmcgee.com. Carolyn?
Thank you so much, Duncan. And it is such a honor and privilege for me. My entire life has been built on community, and that is what I am being called to do. My energy, my life, my history, my family has all been collaboration and community and connection. And that is what motivated me and almost pulled me in when I met Dr. Janet, and she invited me to become part of this. The original part of what I was invited in for was to be the treasurer, because I can be of service by using the other aspects of my energy and my 20 plus years in corporate America. But I'm mixing in being called to be of service to create something that is bigger than me and that is more important than just me and just what my talents are. So I pull all of these together to be an advocate for anyone who wants to create divine balance between the masculine and the feminine. Anyone who wants to create peace, power, prosperity within our planet. Anyone who wants to be an advocate for our animal friends. Because not only do we need them here, they're such loving guides for us, and they're necessary for our success here on the planet. For Mother Earth herself, for clean water and for clean air, and for the ability to just go for a walk in nature like Duncan was talking about, and enjoy that, to receive the beauty of Mother Earth and that beautiful Father Sky energy that Donna talked about in the meditation. To be able to bring all of that together to create balance. Because if we have one without the other, we're not complete in our hearts. We're not complete in our bodies. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to do to make a difference in the world. And I can be a catalyst for planetary peace, power, and prosperity by being me. We are all unique. A very close friend and mentor of mine, Alan Davidson, used to say that there's 13.8 billion souls cosmically. About half of them are here embodied on Earth right now. You think about that. In all of the energy between spirit and between being embodied on the earth, your soul is unique. My soul is unique. And by being us, we are bringing the richness that God intended. Use your own languaging, spirit. Intended for us to be, to shine, to make a difference, to support each other. Because if we don't show our own unique vibration, then the world is a little bit less bright. And so I invite every single one of you to be you, to show up vulnerably and authentically and powerfully and shine your light. You can make a difference. So thank you so much. That is what I would like to, at this point in time, because I agree with Dr. Janet, and Duncan, there is just not enough time to go into this rich topic. But I want to circle back to Donna O'Toole, the beautiful woman who has become a close friend of mine since I met her. Donna O'Toole began studying many modalities as she knew something was missing from the Western teachings. As a Reiki master, Karuna Reiki master, crystal, sound, and color healer, and intuitive, Donna bridges this work with many other teachings. She brings in healing through guided meditations using focused I am statements. Donna truly believes that it's important to live your authentic spiritual life and to be where it makes your soul sing. Donna is currently writing a series of books for children on chakras. And how powerful is that? So, Donna.
Almost forgot to unmute. Thank you all. You all of you take my breath away by your authenticity and what you bring to this earth. And I'm so honored to be on this panel with each and every one of you. And through the years of knowing you now, it's just enhances my life. And I know you're enhancing the lives of all that you serve and see and meet and create on this earth. So many times there's maybe a point in your life where you wonder, have I made a difference? You know, if I died today, can someone say I made a difference? And I can honestly say each and every one of us have made a difference in someone's life. So many times we don't know when that happens or how that happens, but know that you have made differences in people's lives, but it could have been just a smile that they needed at that moment in time. And so that is always something beautiful to see. I think about living my authentic spiritual life. I've just completed all my studies to be a Druidic priestess, and I will be doing that. And so I bring those elements into teaching. I've always been a service with most everything that I've done on this earth, all my life past, and I continue to do that and to show up. I listen to my intuitive, to my soul. And I believe that each of us, as we do that, we will be guided, because who knows better where you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to be doing than if you listen to your soul. And I know that as I do the healing work, people will show up in life, and that people who I need will show up in my life to help me keep on my growing experience. So how I can be of service is always continuously growing. I like to think of myself as having a dragonfly spirit. It's kind of interesting that I'm using that illustration today, because I just read right before I came on that today is International Fairy Day, for all those who did not know that. And dragonflies are fairies in the daytime, but they're unique because of the energy of what they represent. Do you know that they can fly backwards? They can fly upside down. They can turn it 360 degrees. And they do this being very graceful. You know, I have to say I'm probably working on that graceful part, but you got to learn to get a handle on that. But they're also very reflective of change because they're adaptive. And so if we take that philosophy into our life, we can sometimes see that sometimes we need to take 2 steps backwards before we can go forward. And that knowing that true healing only comes through change, and that's an important part. And with that was one of the lessons that I learned in life, and that was how to describe yourself in 8 words or less. And that was a long process that took me a lot longer than I think anyone thought that it should. But I came up with the joy, sharing the joys of love and life with others. And I try to take that philosophy in everything that I do, because it tells who I am. But when I'm thinking of how I can be a catalyst for P4, I want to be the kind of ancestor to Earth that I'm known by the mother as a friend or a relative. I know the mother hears my songs that I sing to her. I want to work with people who may not know how to walk this landscape, kind of like what Duncan and Carolyn were talking about, how to connect with nature and understand all that she brings. I want to help people to understand sacred sites in their landscapes. They're encoded with so much power, so much spirit, so much knowledge. And so that they are continuing in life and continue to exist through oral history and through the rituals and the ceremonies that we do on the land, so that it can be transformational for each and every one of us as we learn to walk their landscape, to sit with the nature, put our backs up against a tree and drink of its wisdom. And I know that Duncan speaks so much of this through his walks. And if you ever get a chance, go to his Facebook page and see how he talks about his walks and his experiences. You literally live those experiences through his words. I want to teach by the use of elements of air, fire, water, earth, spirit, and how each one of these things can be transformational in our lives and bring change about, or how we can use them to get inspiration, to set things in motion, move things along, stir things up, kindle those flames. I want to teach others how to honor and respect the natural cycles of each month and through the year, through its natural cycle as it passes through birth, death, rest, and rebirth. And I want to work to guide on questions that I'm always asking myself. And those questions are, what makes my soul sing? Where does my soul sing? How does my soul sing? And with that, I want to give the baton to Ken Roshan. I love that name. Ken, also known as Dr. Smiley, is focused on amplifying goodness through P4 and his nonprofit, the Keep Smiling Movement. He specializes in publishing inspirational books to fund initiatives, leaders, and nonprofits. His current project, A Dose of Hope, is honoring 500 transformational leaders to reach over 10 million people in need of hope. His son, Kenny, is an author, and he will tell you a little bit probably more about how old Kenny really is. And this child is an author of 5 books that inspire entrepreneurism. I always have trouble with that word, sorry about that. Learning and legacy. So I'm going to turn it over to Ken. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. So first of all, I am home. I'm where I'm supposed to be, with transformational conversations with transformational leaders. And I am so grateful to Dr. Janet. She has created a space and a connection to opportunities like this to connect, partner, and cause way bigger impact because we're working together. You know, P4 is an interesting variable because there's 4 P's to it with 4 powers. And I'd like to talk about the non-existent power, the P0. P0 is poverty. P0 is scarcity. Poverty equals people not working together, people not seeing that love and hope is possible to create a P1, which is peace, a P2, which is power, and a P3, which is prosperity, equaling a world of P4, including all 3 variables and diminishing the 0. It's very important when you are with people that bring you to another level, another height, another cognitive space that you were not there. The conversations I've had in P4 have elevated my game and my ability to contribute and be the tribute to my mom who lost her life to Alzheimer's. And I turned my life to God and to helping transformational leaders leave a legacy. I think the biggest shame we have is that we don't download our heart and our mind before we leave this planet for those that can consume it, that loved us, and that can make a difference. When I hear that Donna is doing books for children, my heart yearns because I say, I want to be a part of that, because my back of my card, the front of my card simply says, keep smiling. And if you think about a smile, it's the universal expression. Music is the universal language. I think that love and hope almost are the universal words translated correctly. There is no hope without love, and there is no love without hope. So I think those work together beautifully. But on the back of the card, there is a sentiment of what my mission is, to amplify goodness. And when you think about that, it allows you to have the power to see it, connect with it, truly amplify it, partner with it. And I looked at partnership quite a while back because I had been in some really horrible partnerships. I had believed in the fact that they could be something they were not. And I've found that P4 is the epitome of what partnership is. It is competing to unconditionally give to each other, to have an agreement that's based on integrity. And I'm so pleased with the partnership of the stewards, the board, and obviously this new realm that we are in with the Unity Week. So I wanted to first again acknowledge Dr. Janet. She gave me a book called Shift, and that book changed my life in the minute because I knew what shift meant. I put shift in my very first book called Keep Smiling because you cannot be mad, smile, and not shift your consciousness, your mentality, your heart. And so she did this book almost on faith that bringing transformational leaders and anything I show in this program is absolutely free. This is not about advertising. This is about letting you know that if you are part of the Keep Smiling movement, we give all the books away 100% free. That's how we reach 10 million. That's how we reach 40,000 per book. Books being shared is elevating the ships or the hearts of all those that are inside. Imagine how much better you'd know Janet if you knew her journey to get here today. And her journey to get here today had a lot of pain, it had a lot of challenges, it had failures. And knowing that journey, it's easier for me to support her. And it's easier for our board to support her. The people inside learn about her and share her with the world. If you are a transformational leader and you have an inspiring story, which I cannot see how those two do not fit together, I am willing to not only publish your story, but to connect the dots of the tribe, the people that you love that can share who you are and impact the world greater. We have the cards in 30 languages, and anyone that would like to get the cards from Keep Smiling or P4, I'm just going to show you just a little inkling of it. Korean, Russian. I think we have basically a lot of them. We have 30, and I shouldn't be doing the shuffle deck right now, but there's Greek, French, Hebrew, etc. So if you would like these cards, they're absolutely free as well. The project that Donna alluded to is called A Dose of Hope. And the reason that's so important to me is that I don't know anyone in the world that could not use an additional dose of hope. And that is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. God's chemicals he gave to human beings to let us know that we're alive. Let us know that we're winning. Let us know that there's hope. Let us know that there's a chance that we can make a difference. So I wanted to go back to what Donna said about my son. During the pandemic, the biggest gift I got is I got to spend a year with my son and change him from being a son who is not an author to being a son who is not only an author, an entrepreneur, a game changer, a future leader. His fifth book is coming out. And again, I cannot emphasize enough, if I've shown the book to you, you can have it for free through P4. We are developing an educational resource through P4 that when you hit that tab, you can download books as ebooks for free from the partners who agree to this particular policy. When we have prices on the books, it will be to fund the nonprofit or to fund our partnerships. I am Ken Rochon with the Keep Smiling Movement. I am so thankful to be in this conversation and to be with my brothers and sisters of P4. Thank you. Dr. Janet? I think you're on mute, Dr. Janet. What Dr. Janet is saying is I'm going to take mute off right now and see. Here we go.
Just this is why we need one another, because in this physical body, I don't remember every detail of everything, but other people always have my back. Thank you, Ken. So let me first just give my own very short answers to those questions and then see if I can weave some of this together. What am I being called to do? How can I be of service? How can I be a catalyst for inner peace, inner power, inner prosperity? But if each of us were to do this, it would become planetary. Thank you, Ken, for that thought. Andrew Harvey once said to me, why don't you just be who you are right here, right now? And that I'm almost 85 years old after years and years of living, probably having experienced every single archetype out there. I'm aware that I need to be functioning always from each and every present moment. I need to be listening. I need to be paying attention to what's going on inside me, what's going on outside me, and just watch the dynamics. Sometimes there is nothing for me to do except be there and observe. But there are other times when people are in this kind of dynamic or this kind of dynamic. Then I can choose to take action, usually through words, to stop that dynamic and attract people into this moving, shifting, breathing, living energy that we all have access to if we will just open our minds and hearts and allow it in. Some of the common threads as I'm listening to the rest of you, certainly a lot of us were talking about just being in the present moment. A lot of us were talking about connecting with nature. We need this planet to support us. So if we don't support the planet, it won't be there to support us either. Our animal friends, Mother Earth, clean water and air. And a word that was really important, I think Carolyn brought this up, to receive. Are you open to receiving? It's not just about giving, it's also receiving with gratitude all the beauty that you have been given. Balance, the fact that each one of us is a unique soul. Every person on this planet is unique. So, what unique gift do you have? Have you been given to give back in service to the planet that sustains you and the people in this world who sustain you? Sacred sites. Where does my soul sing? What makes my soul sing? What people support my ability to sing in a chorus, not as a solo, but I don't know how many of you have ever sung in a chorus, but you have to learn your own part. You have to hold your own part. You have to listen to the other singers, and you need to watch the conductor. And when that happens, a single beautiful manifestation gets woven into a magnificent piece of choral music that sustains everyone, and it's much more magnificent than any one of us could do alone. So let's shift here into back to the website, Duncan, if you could, that final slide. Because we are inviting anyone who feels aligned with our own mission and vision to partner with us. And this is really a very simple thing. If you go on to Planetary Peace Power, prosperity.org, and you scroll to the bottom, you will see that what looks like a single shot here is actually moving. These are partners, and as you can see, Co-Creators Convergence is one of our partners. It's nothing but a simple exchange of logos and websites to amplify the wonderful work that each and every one of us on this planet is doing. If you would like to partner with us, if you have a logo, you have a website, and we would request, if you are willing to do it, also put our logo and website on your site. But we amplify one another's work, and it's a way of connecting with one another as well. Just send your logo, your website and a short phrase that kind of summarizes what your focus is, what your ray going out from that center point is, to contact us at Planetary Peace Power, andprosperity.org. And I cannot see the time right now on my screen. But I think we have a few minutes left. I'm thinking it might be interesting to see if, yeah, maybe you can just stop that share now, Duncan. Yeah, thank you. Now I can see where we are on time. Is there anyone who has been part of this gathering today who would like to answer those questions that Donna posed, the questions that we've been weaving throughout this whole presentation? What am I being called to do? How can I be of service? And how can I be a catalyst for planetary peace, power, and prosperity? So, is there anyone who would like to come on and answer those questions? Anyone who's watching this right now?
Yes, I can speak up for that, Dr. Janet. I'm 73. This is Nancy from Pennsylvania. And my whole life I've been thinking of words. I mean, I knew when I got measles at, 6 or 7 years old, my mom said, "Oh, you have spots on your face. You have measles. You'll have to stay in bed a couple days." And I thought right then and there, I feel fine. Okay, my mom says I have spots on my face. I have to stay in bed. I guess I lost my health for a couple days. And then, I'll go back to being healthy again, and I can go outside and play. And then I thought, that means all people in hospitals just don't have their health. They lost their health. And I've known that since I was that young child. And I've been writing ideas down, thousands of ideas. My house looks like a paper factory. And I don't know how to really put it together in a book. I've never talked to anybody. Today was the longest I've ever talked and shared these ideas with people. Most people just aren't interested in raising the quality of words, and they just believe whatever Webster published is the truth. And I would wished he was alive today to realize we don't have to say any of those negative words. They can all be crossed out of the dictionary and say prehistoric, antiquated, outdated, duality words, head words. See the opposite, in the dictionary. We can use the same dictionaries, just cross off the negative words and give other opposite options to speak. So, I don't know how to put my ideas into action. So that's where I'm at right now. Tony Robbins.
Join us. Come join us. We have regular gatherings. It's almost as if together, we call them stewards gatherings, and there's a long story behind that, which I don't have time to tell here. But yes, if you are interested in being part of this kind of dynamic, which we've been co-creating here today and manifesting during World Unity Week, just send some information to contact us at Planetary Peace Power, andprosperity.org, and we will add you to our list. There's no obligation to be there if you're able to fit it in, if it attracts you, if you want to be part of to me, it's an amazing flow of conversation that matters at that particular moment in time. We don't pre-plan it. It emerges. And I have seen miracles happen within these gatherings. So join us if you would like to. You're more than welcome.
Okay, yeah. I mean, being I'm 73, I feel like time is
37.
Short. I'm limited on my time. I don't know if I just have to focus on people interested in words and dictionary and talking. I've phoned the dictionary companies, they don't answer. They'd have to change their whole way of thinking. The whole Eastern philosophy would have to give up yin yang and just speak yum words, the formerly known as the positive words, the heart words. I mean, it's such a simple kindergarten idea, and yet I can't get over how people don't want to flow with it. They want to resist for different reasons. I just can't believe I'm really getting nowhere, and yet today was the most I've ever shared, and people seem to resonate because you're thinkers. You're deeper thinkers on this call.
Well, come join us.
Okay. Okay, thanks. I will put your email in the chat, please. Thank you.
The email would be contact us at Planetary Peace Power and prosperity.org. If for anybody who would like to be a part of and help create and co-create these kinds of sharings of our own unique gifts with one another. Anybody else want to speak to those questions? What am I being called to do? How can I be of service? How can I be a catalyst for planetary peace, power, and prosperity? Do any of our panelists have anything else they would like to say in closing? We have 5 minutes left now. Donna?
I had a lot of experience in acting throughout the years, and one of the directors taught us that, and the panels all heard me talk about this, that every word, when a playwright writes his play, he wants you to memorize the words because they were specific. Because if you change a word, you can change the whole meaning and the direction of the play. And so with that, he told us that every word it's like a balloon, has its own color and shape. I like to add to that and say it also has its own frequency. And so that the power of the words, whether it's a negative word or a positive word, has that frequency within it. And it also carries differently. If you ever saw, I think it was 3 Men and a Baby, he read a story about fight to a baby, the fight in the boxing match or whatever it was, but he did it softly. And so you didn't know that he was describing someone being beaten up, through boxing. And it was just a beautiful way of showing that it also says how you say, the tone that you use with your words, that can also make a difference of how that word is. And obviously through your life experiences, if we said any word, everyone on this panel would give a different definition of what that word really means to them. And it's because of how we view it through our own life experiences.
And the word definition means to limit. And if we use our words energetically and alchemically, and we stay connected with that source of life energy, that itself will carry us through in each and every moment. And it will give us direction. I don't know how else to express that. I do want to thank every single panel member who has co-created this gathering today, this really fascinating gathering with so many unique voices. And yet each one of us is weaving our own thread through a much larger tapestry. So thank you, Donna O'Toole, Duncan McClintock, Ken Rochon, and Carolyn McGee. And by all means, Noelle and Bob in the background, plus everyone who has joined us here to be part of this energetic exchange. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Janet, and all of the panelists. It has been, I just love this opportunity to get to know each and every one of you on a much deeper level. I've heard your names, I've heard Janet rave about you and what you're doing. So to be able to spend this hour with you has really been a blessing. So thank you so much for your contribution to the Co-Creators Convergence celebration of World Unity Week. This is the second year we've had World Unity Week, and it's going to be a continuing event. So you're invited back. And thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Thank you, Noel.
Appreciate it. Good.